Welcome to Rod Laver Arena. We're just testing the microphone to make sure that it works. It sounds like it does, which is a fantastic start.
Brava Camilla. Hold. Full fault. It's the morning after, the night before. Hello and welcome to Day 5 of Australian Open 2023 as we make our way through the third round of men's and women's singles matches. We're here on Rod Laver Arena, a beautiful sunny day. It's going to warm up a little bit as the weekend goes along, but comfortable conditions. And of course, safety first. Make sure we get that sunscreen on. Another capacity crowd expected around the grounds here of Melbourne Park, and we've got some great matches coming away, some really interesting matches across the day and also into the evening as we head towards the first weekend. It's always a big event here at the Australian Open. We have capacity crowds and, well, there's going to be some great tennis along the way too. Barbora Krejcikova will get things underway here, taking on Angelina Kalilina of Ukraine. So an interesting matchup coming here. You may not have heard too much of Kalilina, but Krejcikova, as you know, is the Roland Garros champion. A bit later on, we've got Stefanos Tsitsipas taking on Tellen Griekspoor of the Netherlands. And then we've got Coco Gauff taking on Bernarda Pera. They are the day session matches. This evening, two excellent encounters. Madison Keys, the 10th seed, is taking on Victoria Azarenka. Azarenka very good in her second round match, getting through that pretty comfortably. That will be an interesting matchup because Azarenka so familiar with the Rod Laver Arena stage, as is Madison Keys. And then we've got Daniel Medvedev and Seb Korda, the 7th seed taking on the 29th seed, but Korda is in red hot form right at the moment. Plenty of singles action across Margaret Court Arena. We've also got action on John Cain Arena. The doubles is in full swing. The mixed doubles is getting underway. And for someone like Krejcikova, she has double duty because she's top seed in the women's doubles draw with her partner Katerina Siniakova. They're actually the defending champions here at the Australian Open. Had a good season, won Wimbledon and also the US Open. Weather-wise, mild conditions, around 19 degrees Celsius. It's not going to get too much hotter than that. We're expecting 21, a nice southerly breeze that'll come in throughout the afternoon. And certainly that will keep conditions nice for the players out there on court. As Kalilina just getting ready backstage. This is just behind the Rod Laver Arena main entrance. You can see Craig Tiley and Wayne McEwen. I'm surprised they're still standing, to be honest, after a 4 a.m. finish for the match between Andy Murray and Thanasi Kokkinakis, but I guess it's all just part of the job. Wayne McEwen, the tournament referee. Craig Tiley on the left, he is the tournament director. And so they're gearing up for another big day, and certainly they're looking fairly sprightly for this time of the morning. I'm Peter Mikado. It's great to be alongside Liz Smiley. Good morning, Liz.
I'm well. How are you? Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to be here, and it's nice to see. This is going to be an interesting matchup. They have met once before, so I suspect that we're going to see a close match. And here comes Barbora Krejcikova, who reached the quarterfinals here last year. Wants to continue on her good run of form. We know she can get it done at the majors. See what she brings to the table today.
Just getting some last-minute instructions there, Barbora, but yeah, she's had quite an interesting 2022, and as this match goes along, we can tell you a little bit more about it. But she didn't play from February to the French. Had an elbow issue, and she's talked openly about how she needs to get better at managing not just the physical side of tennis, but you know, the mental side and everything else that comes with playing professional tennis. She took an off-season break. She went to the Caribbean for 10 days, and she took a racket, but you know what? She didn't use it. So, you know, we talk about the off-season being so short, and she talked about her off-season being 10 days long and how she enjoyed it. She went with her family, and you know, I think when we see these athletes, and you know, we think they have, you know, a great life and they earn lots of money and go to glamorous locations, but you know, it is very taxing, you know, not just on the women, but you know, the men as well, and it's all about managing from January to December.
It's also managing, taking breaks, putting the rackets down. Some players get very itchy fingers and hands, and they want to pick up a racket, put it in their hand. She was still doing a bit of fitness work while she was away as well. You just keep going year after year. Here they come down the Walk of Champions, and probably not looking too closely at all the names, but there will be some Czech names that will be passed by Barbora Krejcikova, Anna Mandlikova, Tina Navratilova. Down the list, of course, not too much time to sightsee. They've got a bit of a job to do. They wind down Ivan Lendl there, and the Andy Murray player box last night. Peter Korda, of course. And then they make their way to the end of the corridor, and you can see Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, Ash Barty, and they get to the tunnel, which will lead them onto the courts. The countdown is on to our first match for day number 5 here at Australian Open 2023.
Welcome to Rod Laver Arena. It's time to bring our players out on the court. Would you please welcome, from Ukraine, Anna-Lena Kalinina. And from Czech Republic, Barbara Krejcikova.
Well, nice ovation for Barbora Krejcikova, a player that knows this court particularly well. Winning doubles title with Katerina Siniakova on this court this time last year. They also went on to win Wimbledon and the US Open.
Yeah, she loves coming to Melbourne. Krejcikova, she talked about the fans and what an honour it is to play in front of them.
As we take a look at the draw where things sit, Pikula and Kostyuk will be playing a little bit later on today in this particular section. This is the top half of the women's singles draw. A real opportunity because Keys Azarenka and Shu Sakari are also in this particular quarter of the draw. So, well, it's going to be interesting to see. There's going to be some names that may not have featured in the second week of a major, maybe bobbing up next week here at Melbourne Park.
Plenty of opportunities for plenty of players, that's for sure.
Greg Allensworth will be our chair umpire for this match.
He's going to be helping me out. Yep. Hi, he's going to be helping me out. All right, so after the toss, please a photo that way real quick. Besides that, the blue for your towels. Red, please, for your towels. For the ice, I'll see what I can do for you. I'll see what I can do for you. Yeah. Besides that, any other questions? No? Okay. We have AO or Ken Rosewell for the coin toss. AO or Ken Rosewell? AO? Okay. Go ahead, buddy. It's Ken Rosewell. Receive. Receive. Okay. Quick photo facing that way, please. Right in the middle and face that way. Good job, buddy.
Nicely done. Good photo as well. I like to see that from the young Hot Shots participants as the players get into their warm-up. It's almost some of the best conditions of the day. Liz, did you prefer when you were out here playing first thing in the morning, or were you more sort of later into the day would be preferable?
No, it's great. First thing in the morning. Both these ladies warmed up on Rod Laver. They've been able to plan their morning. They don't have to worry about waiting for a match to finish. It's the perfect time to play.
Here's Angelina Kalinina, I should say, from Ukraine, ranked 39 in the world, been as high as 34. She actually picked up a title on the WTA, but it was on the 125k circuit, which is just below the main tour. It was right at the very end of the year. Handful of quarterfinals as well. She's won 1 singles title, 15 ITF titles, and has made a real rise in the rankings. She actually, talk about injuries, she had a stomach virus, pretty much sidelined her throughout September, which of course we know is US Open time, but she's back and ready to go and been playing tennis right up basically till the very end of the year. So is wanting to keep that form going and has been particularly good as she made her way through. A big win over the 15th seed Petra Kvitova in the second round.
Also played in Adelaide, where she qualified and lost to Azarenka, got to the quarters of Hobart and lost to a champion here, Sofia Kenin. So he's got plenty of matches under her belt toward the latter stages of 2022 and the early stages of 2023.
Well, you mentioned, Liz, that Barbora Krejcikova, as you can see there, 23 in the world, been as high as 2. The Roland Garros champion reached the quarterfinals here last year, but then had that elbow injury that basically, as you said, sidelined her right up until Roland Garros. But she bounced back beautifully, won 2 titles towards the end of the year indoors. So you know, is starting to recapture that form that saw her rise to the very top of the women's game. In the singles, she's still right at the very top in the doubles.
She absolutely is. And that one of those titles was in Strava, where she went on and beat Świątek in 3 sets. And she talked about how that was a real boost in her confidence because she'd had such a terrible 22. But that was a real boost to her confidence. Great atmosphere. There's the head-to-heads.
It's not quite right because they did play Roland Garros in qualifying back in 2018, a 3-set win for Krejcikova. Here's the win predictor.
2 minutes.
And you can see 54-46 now. That probably gives you an indication of what we're going to see. Elina Kalinina is a great player, quality player, so it's going to be tough for Krejcikova today.
Yeah, she beat Kerber, didn't she, Kalinina, at the French in 2021. So now when you talk about, well, let's have a talk about the weather. Beautiful day.
Yeah.
But when you talk about these lower ranked players coming up against the seeded players at major tournaments, that's a good point, because Kalinina, she has beaten Kerber, and she did beat, of course, as you said, Kvitova in the previous round. So she's not intimidated by the higher ranked players or the arenas.
Well, both players haven't dropped a set en route to the 3rd round. And one of the things that every major, Liz, we always get asked as commentators, who are those who aren't necessarily right at the very top? You know, the term that's used is dark horse, which I don't think is quite right. Who are those who are going to make their impact? I mean, it could be one of these two players. I mean, you've got quality players. Krejcikova has that experience of winning a major and understanding what the winning the 7 matches is all about. Done it on the singles side, on the doubles side as well. It's just got so much experience now.
There's plenty to call on, that's for sure. Feels very at home on the big courts, and particularly this one where she's had success in the past.
30 seconds.
Well, it is interesting too, because one of the things, the factors you talked about it being a bit more ideal to play first up, because you can schedule your routine, but obviously the bright sunny conditions when we get to around midday does make it tricky to
Certainly
serve.
from the southern end.
Yes, the far end.
So you do just have to make the required adjustments with the ball toss.
End of warm-up.
Krejcikova actually won the toss and elected to receive. A lot of the players are doing that these days. I don't think in all my playing days I ever elected to receive. But you know, particularly if you've got a good serve, I would say, you know what, give me the balls. I want it to be one love.
Did you ever pick side? Or did
No.
you defer? There's 4 options in the coin toss.
That's way too confusing. Just give me the balls. It's all good.
4 options on the coin toss. You can serve, you can receive, you can let your opponent decide, or you can choose which side you want to start on as well. They're your options if you win the toss.
You can see the Ukraine flag on the racket bag there. Kalinina, she's one of 5 Ukrainian players in this draw.
So we're set to go. Women's singles 3rd round action. And Helena Kalinina to get us underway.
And just throw it in the bin. Thanks. First set, Elina.
So here we go. We eventually get underway in this 3rd round women's singles match here on Rod Laver Arena. Kalilina is from Ukraine, as we know, but has trained in Slovakia, but has also worked with plenty of great coaches. And if you're in that part of the world, there's just great systems and setups all over the place. That's why there's so many great players from this part of the world. As we take a look at the service motion, Liz.
Yeah, it doesn't have much weight transference, but nice ball toss. The left arm stays up nice and high. Good extension into the court.
Now. 40-15. Now. 40-30.
Always a bit of an adjustment working from the back courts into the main court here. There's just so much space on Rod Laver Arena. It's one of those things that can be quite deceptive on TV. But compared to the outside courts, a bit to adjust to for the players.
Oh, that's a well-played point. Just that little exhale there you saw from Kalilina, didn't you? Just trying to calm the nerves.
Well done. It was great closing speed by Krejcikova, but Kalilina up to the task.
Advantage.
She knew what to cover once she got up there, which is always a good sign. When you come forward, it's not just about hitting the approach, it's knowing that if you hit another shot, what to cover, and did a good job there.
Well, you can get a good understanding of why Krejcikova decided to receive first. She's only missed one return in this game, 11 serves from Kalilina. And Krejcikova has put 10 back into play. And it's just accumulating pressure in this opening game.
Game.
And the pressure builds up. There's a double faults and a break of serve in the opening game.
Yeah, that was a big second serve to go for when you're down break point. Remember, she had 40-15 early in that game. And one of the shots that Krejcikova hit on the return of serve was the slice forehand. That some people might think, gee, you know, that's a defensive shot. But the way that Krejcikova hits it, it stays very low and it's got a little bit of bite on it. And it can be difficult for the opponent, particularly on the backhand side. Just checking which box she's got to put her towel into, but can be very difficult to really get down low.
3 more white towels.
Requesting more towels.
More towels. You can never have enough towels. Particularly with the towel box situation, you want to leave them out there. You don't have to continuously go backwards and forwards to pick them up, because it is, as I said, it's a bigger space here on Rod Laver Arena, so it's a longer walk to go and track them down. And you can see there, just putting them to both sides, just because we do have the clock. As we saw there earlier, Krejcikova, pretty good, very good, converting the breaks.
Now.
15 all.
Nice. She's really just deadly when she steps inside the court, Krejcikova.
30-15.
Well, the forehand, the cross-court forehand, there were 2 of them in this point. It really just did set the point up. Plenty of court to hit the backhand into. Pinpoint accuracy. Oh, she's made it.
30 all.
Good pass that, because she didn't have much space, did she, Kalinina? It was down the middle of the court. Krejcikova on the full stretch on the forehand moving forward. Just rolled it cross court. Good racket head work.
Chance at an immediate break back for Kalinina.
30-40.
Way to say break point. First ace of the match.
Dude.
It's the best way to say break point, really. And you're going to see a lot of the all-court game that Krejcikova has. So strong from the back of the court, but as we know, very, very comfortable getting forward. So I want to stretch Kalilina in the match this morning.
Advantage, Krejcikova.
Did really well there, Krejcikova. I mean, first serve, first serve, first serve, getting the job done to get out of trouble.
Krejcikova leads.
Two aces and an unreturnable.
Yep. It's a sign of confidence. See Kalilina there just testing out the position of the sun. That's the tricky end here at Rod Laver Arena this time of the day.
$15 left.
That's impressive.
Oh, she was out of position, wasn't she? Pulled wide on the forehand.
30 left.
It's two excellent forehands in this game.
Left first serve.
Oh, that's also impressive. One step across, bang, cross court.
Good job there, Krejcikova, didn't she, of just cutting down the angle. She moved on the diagonal toward the ball.
$30 all.
Maybe a little adventurous there. Krejcikova had a good return. Such a fine line between playing too aggressively and not making the unforced error, but still playing the shot that needs to be played. Shot selection, so important.
See there the conversion of the early break. It's a high percentage for Krejcikova. Wants to force the advantage home now. Again, that pressure that's building up for Kalilina. And she's made it.
Krejcikova.
The ideal start for the 20th seed, Barbora Krejcikova, leading 3 games to love now in this opening set. And I mentioned before, Liz, about the returns into play. She's made all but one on the Kalilina serve, but they're not balls that are landing right in the middle of the court that Kalilina can just put away easily. They've got depth, they've got angle. It's just so creative, and it's just piling on the pressure early on.
Well, that's what happens when you play Krejcikova, because she's got so many different types of shots that she can play. She's got the big flat forehand. We saw a winner there on the return, the big flat forehand, and she's got the backhand as well. And she also can come underneath the ball on both sides. And that makes it really difficult, because you're very hard to get into a routine, because you don't see the same ball time and time again.
here. Movement inspires.
Had to get kind of rhythm or groove when you play Krejcikova.
Time.
Fans racing down to grab their seats there just in front of Barbora Krejcikova. It's a long walk from the top of those stairs to the bottom. Off to a great start. Reigning Australian Open doubles champion with Katerina Siniakova, the top seeds in the women's doubles draw.
Love.
Again, just testing the positioning of the sun down the southern end of Rod Laver Arena.
30.
She's also won the mixed here a couple of times for Krejcikova.
Yes.
Let's have a look at this service action once again. Good positioning there. Weight going up and into the court, full extension.
Let's. First serve.
First serve percentage, 70% into play, but she's won every point. 8 of 8 so far in this set. As soon as I say that,
40-15.
That's a nice return, though. Off a second.
she hasn't won a point actually on that second serve. She hasn't hit too many, but each time it's 100% on the first, 0% on the second.
Barbora's not convinced
40-30.
about this line call, but there's not going to be any joy.
Particularly when it splits the line like that. That's a, are you sure? Hang on. Did Eddie Murray play till 4 in the morning this morning? That's what that look is. I suspect that one might be making its way to social media as a GIF, Liz.
What a match that was.
Dude.
Played here plenty of times before at Melbourne
Not
Park,
till 4
Liz.
o'clock in the morning.
Not, no, of course not. We wouldn't be allowing that. You play first, remember? I'll come back to that in a
Not
second.
every night.
Nice wrong footing there. How much of an adjustment do you need to make down that end of the court with your serve, with your ball toss in particular, to try and get around the sun?
Yeah, it's going to be bad. Probably, what is it? It's 11:30 local time. It's probably going to be bad for at least the next hour or so. So it is an adjustment. I mean, tennis players are constantly adjusting, aren't they, to all sorts of conditions. This is a break point. There's nothing in between for Kalinina at this stage. It's either a winner or it's an unforced error, and that really have to make your opponent play. It's a second serve, you're down 3-love, it's an opportunity to get on the board. Have to make that shot. Oh, that's just excellent use of the court.
Advantage, Krejcikova.
Getting the opponent out of position, not overplaying anything here. It was the first one to the backhand, the next one to the forehand, next one to the backhand. And good clearance over the net. Nowhere near a line, wins the point.
Again, missing. Again, the pressure on Kalinina.
Krejcikova leading.
Krejcikova, 4 games to love.
Kalinina, she made a good return there, didn't she, off the backhand? But this lady here, full stretch of her backhand, can just open the racket face, get it back into play, doesn't go for too much. Makes her opponent play just one more shot, and that was the one that drew the error.
Wonderful view. Look at this. A Friday morning in Melbourne. Where else would you want to be? The CBD just in the background, the Yarra River through the middle. This wonderful complex. And that's a wonderful return.
Love 15.
Do no wrong at the moment, Krejcikova.
Took it nice and early, didn't she? Just shorten the backswing a little bit, use the pace off the serve. Winner number 7 of her racket.
Love 30.
It's just so sharp. I say it again that the returns are not just landing in the middle of the court. They've got depth, they've got angle.
Gee, it's hard though when you get off to a start like this against a seeded player at a major. They just have been here plenty of times before, singles, doubles and mixed, and 10 unforced errors, not helping the cause. We've seen some nice shots, but just too many unforced errors.
Love 40.
And more break points here for Krejcikova. Well, it's a perfect start for Barbora Krejcikova. 25 minutes on the clock, and she leads 5 games to love in this third round women's singles match on Rod Laver Arena. Must be good.
Everything going by just in a bit of a blur at this stage. And, you know, she was not like she's been completely outplayed, is it? Krejcikova's doing exactly what needs to be done, which is shot selection is always spot on with this lady when she's out of position, when she's got the ball in the middle of the court to play, and just makes her opponent just play every ball
Look at this, the crowds coming in to Melbourne Park Grand Slam Oval. Love Arena is on the right.
The great
Loves,
man
there he is. He'll be coming down again, won't he, Rod Laver?
I think so.
Warmish conditions. Very comfortable for the players.
Still keeping the umpire on his toes, Barbora, isn't she?
Yep, the 20th seed though. Everything working for her in this opening set. Now serving for it at 5-love.
It's good tennis, isn't it, from Krejcikova?
15.
It's understated at this point, but gee, not doing anything wrong. When she's out of position, gets the ball back into play on this backhand here. And then when she has the opportunity to do something a little bit more. Good margin on that shot as well.
Lack of preserve.
Oh, and again, must be a good feeling, Liz, when everything is going right. And
That
you've got
had a
this
little bit
margin.
more on it though, didn't it, the forehand?
Yeah.
You know, she was pulled wide. She didn't go for the slice. She felt like she had a little bit more time and is so confident. And why not at 5-love?
Just everything going right.
40.
The plans come into play. Successfully executed. And 3 set points for Barbora Krejcikova. Oh, yes. Now, that's a nice one. There might be a little bit of frustration in that.
Just a little. And why not go for a little bit more off the forehand side?
Wow, that's nice from Kalinina here.
Just freed herself up a little bit
Yeah.
in this game, hasn't she? She thinks, okay, well, I can't win the set. Let's just forget about the score for a minute and let's just play the shots that we know she can play. She must have played plenty of them against Kvitova in the previous round, beating the 15th seed in 2 sets.
Yeah, 128 serve right into the hitting zone as well. Yeah, all the time in the world for Kalinina. She was in that ad-court corner too. It's interesting. She had so much time for Krejcikova to set up, but still went back to Kalinina.
Kalinina.
It's never going to be good once that ball hit the net. Just sat in the middle of the court.
So a chance at a break back for Kalilina. And does get the break back. Well, save 3 set points there, Kalilina. She's in the match despite being 5-1 down.
And the crowd appreciating the efforts.
Let.
The levels come down from Krejcikova all of a sudden.
It was almost like there was just one way to go, though, for Krejcikova, wasn't there? Because she was absolutely flawless until 5-love.
Smart, just using the pace from Kalilina just to redirect. Don't have to overdo it to get the right result.
Yeah. 30-15.
You can see the body language there. Disappointed with that relatively straightforward ground stroke miss long. Can't afford any slip-ups here when you're down 5-1, trying to get back into this match.
Well, we'll take the luck.
Take all the help she can get.
Yes. That dead net cord. The nets appear to be wound down a bit in tension. It seems we've had a lot that have just dropped on the top and just dropped over. It was always going to be safe there, Kalilina. Well, maybe a bit of a turnaround in this opening sets. It's still the ball of Krejcikova, I should say, to serve for it again at 5-2. Now she's very much in the match, Liz.
Well, the new balls will come out for Krejcikova to serve with, but it's not easy, is it, when you come out and you play against a seeded player? And you know, we talked about the different conditions on these big courts, and the dimensions are so much different to an outside court, or even, you know, Margaret Court, or all the other different venues, Kia Arena, and 15.73, and it just takes a little bit of an adjustment. There's just a wise smile to say, okay, well, I'm feeling a little bit better about myself.
Time.
Look at that. Getting into tennis. Get a racket in that child's hand. ASAP, Liz.
Maybe just wait till next month.
Straight away. Be inspired. Bora Krejcikova again serving for this opening set.
Love 15. All.
Now.
30-15.
Three good serves.
Yeah, now leading to more set points here for Krejcikova. Kalilina up to the challenge.
40-30.
It's finding it a little difficult to close out this set, Krejcikova. Well, she does get through.
Krejcikova.
A little bit of a battle in the end. Krejcikova, the 20th seed, getting it done in this third round women's singles match. That opening set, 6-2.
She didn't make the same mistake twice, did she, Krejcikova? 3 excellent serves, and then took a little bit of pace off that last one. But good enough to get the job done. These stats are going to favour her, I would think.
A few more winners for Kalilina.
Yeah, but the unforced errors. Seems like there was more in those unforced errors. Kalilina tightening up that part of the game toward the latter stages of the set, but certainly started out just having difficulty finding that middle ground between going for too much and still being aggressive. Kalilina, we saw early some big shots, didn't we? But it was the unforced errors that really made it more difficult in that first set for her.
It looked like a player who was so used to being out here on court versus someone who was just finding their way. I think it just had that sense about it. Kalilina, not just obviously a big court sense, but obviously a major. The furthest that she's gone here at the Australian Open and at a major. But the promising at the tail end of that set for Kalilina. There is Rod Laver, and that's the players' area, the restaurants. And there's all sorts of corporate facilities in there as well.
So much more than just a tennis tournament now, isn't it? The Australian Open, we've got great restaurants, we've got entertainment, we've got kids zones.
Lovely sunglasses there.
Look at the pair, just like that.
We'll have that up on social media, folks, later in the day. So, Angelina Kalilina.
Second set.
underway. The sign's promising at the back end. That's it. The player from Ukraine.
Love. 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 Game, Kalinina.
It's a positive start for Kalilina. Look at the scoreline there and you see 6-2, but towards the end it got close, and that's the thing that Kalilina is hanging on to right now, because I think she's well and truly in this match, Liz.
Yeah, there were a couple of unforced errors there off the return, but certainly a better start for the second set for Kalilina. So important to be able to just draw a line underneath a set and say, all right, it wasn't ideal. I know I can play better. I'm better than this. This is the third round of a major. I've got 2 wins under my belt.
There's one of the corporate areas just next door to Rod Laver Arena, or attached to Rod Laver Arena. Wish we had time to go out there and enjoy a cool beverage or two, Liz, but we're hard at work all day, every day here.
And all night as well, in your case.
Yes.
Here until 4 this morning. How was that match?
I don't know if I can remember it. Nicely played from Kalilina, using all parts of the courts.
That's her best point for the whole match right there. You know, was able to put pressure on, didn't make the error, and was still aggressive. Third ace for the match for Krejcikova. Well, you're not going to beat Krejcikova too often at the nets. Beautiful drop volley.
40-15.
Took all the pace off the ball. Good anticipation there. She was there waiting, wasn't she? But just unable to combat that. Low to height of the net, just opened the racket face. Not a surprise to see Krejcikova hit a volley like that.
Game, Krejcikova.
So 1 game all. Into
1 game.
the battle that we were expecting. Well, there you go. I think that's wrong. 84-16. I get why we have that, but I don't think it's right.
Seems a bit severe, doesn't it?
Yes. I mean, it's not that
15.
to harp on it too much, but it's not taking into account what happened at the back end of that first set. Yes, Krejcikova got off to a great start, but Lilina
Certainly got better, didn't she?
exactly. So I think this is going to be much more competitive. Second set.
$30 love.
They're much more willing now to construct the point than Jurisic, rather than going for the inappropriate shot or the wrong shot at the wrong time. 2 high balls there, just waiting for the one that she could do a little bit more with. Much more patient.
Game, Kalinin.
Lilina keeps herself in front in this second set.
2 games to 1.
We're on serve. It's 2 games to 1 here in the second set on Rod Laver Arena. First match, day number 5 of AO 2023. So we just saw a shot there of Lilina. She went to the tower box and had a coach just over the top as we look at some more views of Melbourne. But Liz, if you were out there playing today and your coach was on the sideline, how much interaction do you think you would have had with your coaches if coaching was allowed and you were playing? Would you be sort of wanting to have that dialogue, or would you just prefer to say, no, you stay over there, I'm staying over here, I'll work this out, thank you very much?
I think that players get so much information, don't they, from all sorts of avenues. We've got an iPad at the side of the court that the coaches can access their players' stats for the match. But really what needs to come from the coach's box, I think, is just positive reinforcement. There's nothing technical that's going to happen, but tactically, just even just play a little bit smarter, pick the right ball, just literally a sentence here and there. There wouldn't have been too much conversation going back and forth.
Well, both of these players working hard for the money today, as they do throughout the tournament. More of an arm wrestle in this second set. It's a good contest, this one. Krejcikova serving at 1-2. Well, she's found her range, Kalilina, now.
11-15.
The shot selection is so much better from Kalilina than what it was early in the match. Just ready to work the point and then wait for the opportunity. An opportunity goes begging on the second serve. You're working so hard. You get love 15 after hitting a winner, and then you get a second serve. Unforced error number 13. That's good body serve.
30-15.
All about the pace on every serve. That one just 146 Ks, but just really jamming the returner.
Well, this stage of the match, she'll take that.
40-15.
You know, it's just a little bit unlucky, isn't it? For Kalilina. She'd hit a good return. No chance on that ball there.
But not sorry.
Exactly.
Well done. I mean, credit to Kalilina there. The key thing for me in that rally, Liz, was the footwork. How balanced she was. She got around to every single ball.
Yeah, lots of little steps, working hard
40,
here, that's
30.
for sure. Krejcikova, she was all the way back in the shade. And that's an excellent little volley.
Hard work when you're in those sort of rallies. It's done before you strike the ball to get into the best position.
Winner number 16. It's a good point from Kalilina. There was a slice forehand there for Krejcikova.
Dude.
She just handled it really well. It was low, it was just soft in the middle of the court. They're the ones that are much more difficult to hit because you have to create the pace, drop the racket head down and not overplay it. And then she got the opportunity on the next ball Really working her way into this match.
Now has a break point.
Advantage, Gallagher.
Oh, that's an excellent first serve. Good change up. Big flat one out wide. Right when she needed it, Krejcikova.
Deuce.
We've seen it time and time again in this match so far. The champion's mindset under pressure. Come up with that big serve, to rely on that first serve.
And something a little bit different.
See there that Lilina falls back in the court, that one off the back foot, and that's where Krejcikova wants her.
Got to pay each ball on its merits, though. If you can't hit an aggressive shot off that, just get it back. And maybe that opportunity might come later in the point. Still battling with the placement of the toss.
The sun getting involved there for Krejcikova. Great hands from Lilina, though.
Well, it's a terrific point. Both ladies showing us their touch in the forecourt.
Nice lob, Krejcikova, but then this one looking into the sun.
She just got a little bit too front on, didn't she? If you had that shot again, you'd probably let it bounce. Hit the smash off the bounce. That's good tennis. Smash off the bounce there. She's a fast learner, isn't she, Krejcikova? From that southern end. The sun just impacts not only your serve, but that was the high ball that went up just a little bit earlier. She let it bounce and then the point went on. Good forcing play from Krejcikova.
Does well there. That's a real battle, that service game. All things up in the second set.
No surprise, both ladies heading for the shade and heading for their towel at the end of that game.
Seats quickly, please, especially behind the court. This isn't a changeover. Thank you.
Not sure why anyone would want to leave. This is a heck of a match going on right now. Yeah, beautifully played. Got that fractionally shorter ball and made absolutely no mistake.
15.
That was a good point, this one. Saw the opportunity to do something a little bit more with that next ball.
Love. Love.
Great return from Krejcikova. Up the middle of the court, but had depth on it. Such a skill here after the serve to react quickly. It's immediately on the back foot, way behind the baseline, Khalila Nutt.
Made it.
40-30.
Down the line, on the line.
Deuce.
I just needed one more step, didn't she, Luna, to get to that backhand.
Krejcikova.
All from one side of the court to the other. It's becoming more difficult for the server. Great chance here.
It's gone wide. So a break of serve for Barbora Krejcikova, leading a set now and 3-2 in the second.
Time.
Oh, couldn't resist the temptation
15.
to go up the line. Smart overhead off the bounce for Krejcikova during that point. Knew she couldn't overplay it, just got it back deep. Excellent shot selection. Gee, it's hard to come up with shots like this, and this literally just misses. But maybe, you know what, just bring it in a little bit. Don't go for the line. Not at this stage of the match, that's for sure. Good controlled aggression off an excellent serve. Just putting the foot down a little bit here, Krejcikova, in this game. A little bit unlucky.
40-50.
That cord just pushing that forehand wide.
Oh, again, just ideal from Kalilina.
Well, Krejcikova, she went the wrong way, didn't she, on the forehand? Could have gone either way. Elected to go back cross court. That's where it got difficult because she was so close to the net. Unable to make the adjustment with the overhead.
Game, Krejcikova.
Great consolidated.
Krejcikova leads 4 games to 2.
The serve saving it there, Krejcikova. It's going along smoothly. Very quick game until it got a bit awkward, but big serve out wide, saving the day.
Let. For serve. Fifteen love.
Oh dear.
15 all.
Third double fault for the match. Time for Krejcikova here to put the foot down. Just go back to what we saw in the opening set, just to take control of the match.
I like that forehand from Krejcikova because it gets good height.
And
That's more out than in, but it still counts as in. Gets good height, but she has control over that shot when she gets the racket head speed. She only gets into trouble when she tries to flatten it out a little bit. Oh, that's just too good. Too good.
15-40.
there's control and feel there. Player bearing down the net.
The left hand just takes over. You'll see it here and drags the racket back across court.
Let for serve.
See there where Krejcikova ended up, right back in the court. Nice power, nice control from Kalilina there.
30-40.
And that was the forehand, the shot that did the damage, set up the nice overhead. Still in trouble here though. Just to save this break point.
Goes without saying, but a big game for Kalilina here, just to keep pace with Krejcikova.
Yeah, you just get that feeling if she loses serve here, then it's just going to be a mountain that's just a little bit too high to climb. Gosh, how hard is it to win points? How hard is she having to work? 3 terrific shots in that rally. The first one was the short ball that she had to hit, and then the next one was in the corner, and then she still had to hit one more shot.
Sun position, that's difficult too, right in the middle of the court. Krejcikova had actually guessed right. She was heading to that deuce side of the court.
It was hit too well, though, wasn't it?
Game, Kalinina.
Well done, Kalinina, to hold serve there.
Krejcikova leads.
Keep the pressure on Krejcikova, who is still up a break in the second set. It's 4-3 here on Rod Laver Arena.
Did a good job there, didn't she, of holding, you know, for Krejcikova to have the break points that she had and just not be able to get over the line. And this lady here, she knows how important that game was. Just to keep herself in this contest. We've seen flashes of brilliance from her, some really good play. It's just so difficult when you get a start that she had that was just a long way from ideal, wasn't it, to get down 5-love, and she's just fought so hard since then.
So we'll be fighting 4 positions on Grand Slam Oval. Look at all these people streaming in. The day-night records. The juggler. To entertain. Can you do that?
Time.
Is that a proper question?
Oh, I can do 3.
No.
I can't do 4 or 5. That's a good effort.
Well, you can show me later.
Another young fan.
Where's the hat?
That's better. Bit of sunscreen. The hat's sun smart out here, though it is a cool 20 Celsius in Melbourne. Well, man, after midnight we had 2 after midnight. We had 2 at 4 a.m. Liz.
It was a long way after midnight. She was going that way, but it didn't matter. It was hit too well.
I just feel there's
15 love.
cushion, break cushion is important for Krejcikova. Just as we get towards the end of this set, potentially the end of the match, we saw just a little wobble towards the end of the opening set. So a bit of breathing space.
Love. Love.
Number 2 for Krejcikova.
Well, it's hard to deal with the slice as severe as that from Krejcikova.
Krejcikova leads 5 games to 3.
And away from the spots. 4th round. See how low that ball gets. See how much it hit our camera.
Really have to open your racket face trying to get a ball like that back. Krejcikova just going for a new restring, new balls.
Love 50.
A couple of errors to start off this service game for Kalinina.
Yeah, they've haunted her this whole match, haven't they? Just those unforced errors. She's fought so hard to get herself into position where she had a chance. They've just come back together. First with the first serve there.
15-30.
It's been a real battle, an internal battle for this lady today.
All.
It's just not the right position. Barbora Krejcikova now with a match point. An hour and 25 on court. Barbora Krejcikova is hitting top form.
2 sets alive.
And is staking her claim for this Australian Open singles title. 126 minutes on court, 6-2, 6-3. Hasn't dropped a set and is through to the 4th round at Melbourne Park here in 2023.
Yeah, she didn't want to spend any more time out on court than was absolutely necessary. Krejcikova, and just saw the finish line there in the last 2 games. Did a good job of finishing off this match. She started the match just perfectly almost, as we see her opponent leave the court. It was a struggle for Kalinina, wasn't it? We saw some flashes of good play, but for the most part, when you give a set away, when you down 5-love and then you struggle to get back, you win a couple of games, and it was an uphill battle the whole way in this match due to the fact that Krejcikova, she's such an experienced campaigner over singles, doubles and mixed here at the AO. And She was just too tough today.
Just confirming. Yep, that ball was in.
Thank goodness, says Barbora.
Just noticed I didn't see her name on the mixed doubles draw, but certainly playing in the doubles, defending champion with Katerina Siniakova. Top seeds are through to the second round there as well. Tying everything up, making sure she's ready to go, got everything she needs. Be pretty satisfied, I'd imagine, after that result. A straight set swing. She's on court now with Pete Laser.
Barbara through to the 4th round for the 2nd year in a row. Congratulations, a wonderful win, a great first week so far here on Rod Laver Arena. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, thank you very much. I mean, I'm so happy that you know that I'm playing and that I'm here and that I'm just enjoying this summer, and I'm really enjoying the fans. They're really supportive throughout all my matches, so I really want to thank them. And I mean, I have to say it's really a pleasure to play in such a big arena as Rod Laver Arena is.
At 5-love in the first, the crowd was still coming in, and you were 5 games up. Then you had to work really hard. Got the serve going, your ground strokes are really clean. Just looks like you're in charge of your game at the moment and playing the game that you want to play.
Well, I think, yeah, I mean, the first 3 games, I think they were really close. So I was happy that I put all of them under my belt. And I mean, from there on, yeah, I was just like going for my shots and just trying to stay aggressive and just work, you know, try to play good returns, good serves, and start the rallies really well. And I think I was able to do that. So I mean, I think I played really solid today.
You're a Grand Slam champion. You've won doubles here and all around the world. As you know, you've had success here. Does that help you? Does it make you feel comfortable in front of this big Melbourne and Australian crowd?
Well, I definitely have to say that I love to play on a big court. So for me, playing on a center court, playing in big arenas, I can always put a little bit more out of me. So I'm really enjoying it, and I'm you know, like, I would like to get to the stage where I'm going to play first rounds on a court like this. So that's a big goal.
You're playing with a smile on your face. That also helps as well. You're enjoying your tennis at the moment, it seems.
Yes, I do, very much.
Well, you're through to the 4th round. You got to the quarterfinal last year. Who knows how far you can go this year? Good luck and best wishes for your 4th round match. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Barbara Krejcikova through to the 4th round of the women's singles. Once again here
the Australian
at Melbourne
Open.
Park.
Yep. And looking pretty good. She mentioned, Liz, that she had the elbow injury. She's back. She's winning titles. She's getting back to top form, and no reason why she can't do some damage next week.
There certainly isn't. And I'll have to say, though, gee, she was breathing heavily after the end of it. I mean, we've talked about it's really not that hot here today.
Thank you.
Barbora is happy to be back in Australia, happy to be back in Melbourne, and she loves the Aussie summer.
Don't we all?
Just a bit too much experience today from Barbora, wasn't there? Just a little bit too much variety. And then as we look at the unforced errors, that's going to tell a lot about this match. 21 for Kalinina. She fought hard, but just once you give a quality player a lead like that, it's just very difficult to peg them back.
So we look at where things sit in the draw. So Krejcikova to play the winner of Pegula and Kostyuk. They'll be up a little bit later today. An interesting section of the draw, the top half, top quarter of the women's singles draw. You've got Sakkari down there as the 6th seed. Keys and Azarenka, they're playing tonight on this court. Coco Gauff lurking as well. Elena Ostapenko, a major winner, as is Elena Rybakina. Danielle Collins, a finalist here. Very, very packed section of the women's singles draw.
Haven't even talked about the fact that the tournament lost the number 2 seed in Ons Jabeur yesterday. But plenty of opportunities for players to win their first major here.
And plenty of opportunity for Barbora Krejcikova, the 20th seed, getting through to round number 4 here at Melbourne Park. A 6-2, 6-3 winner, and looked particularly good on Rod Laver Arena today.
Well, it's the afternoon after the night, morning, whatever it was. An absolute dream, a fairy tale for Andy Murray as we get back to the action. What has the Australian Open got for us today in store? It has been a simply incredible 48 hours. And we are going to witness one of the players in Stefanos Tsitsipas who has got a dream here of potentially winning this particular tournament. Of course, he has already been a finalist at a major before at the French Open and just one set away from winning that. But he has got a tough proposition on his hands today. Talent Griekspoor is a player that is coming of age at 26 years old. He has been battling it out on the Challenger Tour. He is one of those players that was kept back because of COVID, and he is the type of player that could give Tsitsipas a bit of trouble today. The Greek superstar is going to need to be on his game. He knows how to make deep runs in Melbourne, does Tsitsipas, 3 times, of course, a semi-finalist here. Has been defeated by Medvedev, and of course last year's champion Rafael Nadal in that particular stage. But Griekspoor moving into unknown territory at majors. There are some players that you wonder whether they are going to be able to deal with moments like this as they walk out onto this iconic court. I have absolutely no doubt that the Dutchman is well prepared for the test that is coming his way today.
Rod Laver Arena, it's time for third round men's singles action. Would you please welcome our players out onto court from the Netherlands, Talent Griekspoor. And from Greece, our third seed, Stefanos Tsitsipas.
It's the ovation he deserves, and it is the ovation that is expected here in Melbourne. The largest community of Greek people, of course, outside of Greece itself. Same for the Italians as well. Huge support here, and he's going to need all of it. John Fitzgerald, welcome. It's been a minute.
Yeah, a few minutes since I last saw you, Mark. You're looking as attractive as ever. Early morning, well, early afternoon rather than 4 a.m. in the morning. So, look, another one that I'm looking forward to. Look, Tsitsipas for me now is part of that revolving system where great players come and go. The game, the men's game, has been dominated by 4 players, really. I'm including Andy in that, especially after seeing what he did last night and witnessing it firsthand. But the new breed is coming. Their time at the top will rotate like a Ferris wheel. And they'll get there, and they'll spend their time. It's highly likely it won't be as long as the previous 3 that have been there, but 4, including Andy. But this man, I think, is going to have his time certainly close to the top.
Something's got to give today as well, Fitzy. Yep. These two have both been undefeated in 2023.
Talon, this is Georgie. She's here for the coin toss with us. And I'll ask you guys to stay for a picture facing that way with her. Gentlemen, same conditions as the previous round. Remember, toilets are on that door, okay? Toilets on that door. Any questions? No? You want to ask one of them? Would you? Ken? Ayo or Ken Rosewell? Ayo. Here we go, Georgie, go.
Solid coin toss.
That side. Talon. Serve. Picture, please. Georgie, that way. The coin's yours. You can take the coin. Face that way. We practice this. Smile. Have a good match. Thanks, Georgie.
Interesting that Steph's decided to go down that particular end. That is the end where there's a little bit more sun. Just going back to what we talked about, how difficult do you think it is for Tsitsipas to really genuinely believe that he can get through there? Do you feel as though in the locker room he's got that presence that you need for this moment?
Absolutely, and I know I believe that he believes. There's no doubt he believes he's going to win majors. It'll be a relief, I'm sure, not knowing intimately, but I'm sure the first one is the most difficult. But I think he's a player that can win several major titles. We're not talking about 20, we're talking about several. But his time will come, in my opinion, Mark.
As I said, this man is now 26 years of age, career win-loss record. It is increasing on the left-hand side, 28 now, 6 wins so far this season. He won in Pune in India already. He beat Benjamin Bonzi in 3 sets there to pick up his first ever title on the tour. And this is the furthest he's ever been at a Grand Slam through to the 3rd round. He made history back in 2021, did Greek Sport. This is how special he is. Made history. He won 8 challenger titles, 6 on clay, 2 on hard over in Europe. That is not easy to achieve, with some wonderful players that he beat in those finals as well. Sebastian Baez being one of those. Gabayas Baena, who we saw play Novak as well. He is quality, as is this man. Ranked 4 in the world at the moment. He's been as high as 3. And some possibilities at some stage throughout 2023 that maybe he can make the ascent to the top spot. Currently, of course, Novak is here. He's battling hard with a hamstring injury. He is not at the moment allowed to go to the US as well, which is going to throw the door open for some of these players to potentially become world #1 that are residing in the heady atmosphere that Tsitsipas has been throughout the course of his career. This is the area of the unknown. Tennis so often, Fitzy, is about matchups in style, and obviously when there is no data and there is no previous head-to-head as well, you're never quite sure what's going to happen. That is a big win predictor. That is a gutsy call. I would have to say that I would say that is way too much in favour of Tsitsipas from what I've seen from Greek Sport.
The beautiful thing about the win predictor, it's always debatable.
What isn't debatable is a perfect day here. We've got 19 degrees centigrade at the moment. We've got the roof open, the convertibles ready, the engines running. And the Australian Open in the last 48 hours has come to life in a most spectacular way. And a night like that, you've been in the locker room so often, a night like last night, Fitzy, and you get back in the locker room the next day, there's a buzz, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. Hey, there's a buzz in the commentary box. You know, all of our commentators are talking about it. It was memorable, and hey, it's always a privilege when you're the lucky one that, hey, we lost a bit of sleep, but gee, that was fun to watch. And Thanasi Kokkinakis has won me. Okay,
1 minute.
He lost, but gee, he was outstanding. And Andy Murray, to see the champion that he is come through in a moment like that was something that'll stay with me until my tennis days are done.
This match will be the best of 5 tiebreak
But
sets.
today's a new day, and we've got something else to look forward to. The Australian Open is back, bigger than ever. It's awesome. We're all excited.
Dad was a motocross champion. His mum was a tennis coach, as was Tsitsipas, who of course was also a wonderful player, Julia in her own right. Talon's brothers, Scott and Kevin, also play pro tennis, so he had a little bit of a choice. He does still love motocross. He's a big fan of F1, and Max Verstappen, of course, the Orange Army. That may not have made the trip as in the way it does for Max over here for the Australian F1. But he's starting to come into the consciousness of a lot of the Dutch fans in the tennis world as well, and a nice bit of a rivalry with Botic van der Zandschulp at the moment. And of course they met in the previous round with Talon getting the best of him, and that will be one to keep an eye on as we go through. And Denis Schenk there on the left of your picture is looking after Talon. And Steph, of course, with his dad in tow, Apostolos, having a little chat. Patricio Ape at the back there as well. Nick is also assisting with Patricio in his agency. And Mark Philippoussis.
The Greek connection.
The Greek connection. Of course, Mark made the 4th round here on 4 previous occasions. He was also a runner-up a major, as of course has Steph.
Yep,
twice. US Open 98, of course, yep. Wimbledon 2003.
Pat lost to Pat Rafter at the US Open, lost to the real great man. There's never inverted commas around calling Roger Federer the great man. He lost to him at Wimbledon in Roger's first victory, 2003.
Sit quickly, please.
This guy is good to watch.
First set.
It's got real potential, this one, to pick up where Andy left off in the early hours of the morning here in Melbourne. Never beaten a top 5 player before. The highest ranked player he's ever been was Khachanov back in 2019. And that was in Rotterdam, back at home. Last time he played a player in the world's top 5 was back at the US Open against Novak Djokovic there. He'd just come off a lovely little 5-set win against Jan-Lennard Struff in the previous round as well. That was a significant win for Greek sport. And then Coach Djokovic handed out the lesson, dropping just the 7 games, but taking on Novak for the first time in New York was never going to be an easy task. This, however, will be slightly different because of that experience as well. It's so different coming out onto these big courts, Fitzy, isn't it?
So much space.
I remember playing in Key Biscayne on the centre court there, and I remember watching Sampras practice before I went out there, and his ball off the serve was bouncing halfway up the backstop netting. Mine was bouncing twice before it got there. I mean, the whole concept of it is just, you feel like, I mean, I didn't have I had a paper aeroplane of a first serve anyway, you know, so it was always going to be tricky. But at the same time, the whole concept of it is like, just something like that visually just makes you feel, oh, so inadequate at times.
What's better, a paper plane or a cream puff?
I don't know.
Because that's what I had. Yeah, it used to bounce a few times.
Not a problem that either of these two players are going to suffer with today. Not only is he a very accurate server, but he's consistently quick with it as well. Deep in the box, tough to attack him.
He's confident. Tsitsipas, he looks confident to me. He looks like he believes to me this year. He's been to the semis here. He's done his miles at the Australian Open before. Hasn't claimed the ultimate prize, but he's one player now in the next breed that I think is ready.
14.
And players of this ilk see the door opening now, don't they?
$14.50.
where he's done really well as well is play enough matches last year on the main tour. It was it's always a little tricky when you go from playing challengers and that wonderful year in 2021, the record-breaking year of 8 titles. He played 76 matches, but he ended up playing around 56 matches last year, which was a pretty good effort, because once you accelerate onto the ATP Tour, often you end up with almost half the number of matches. A lot of practice days, a lot of tough questions.
Wants to step up in level.
He just played one challenger last year as well, and that was at home in Amersfoort as well, and that was a good decision for him. He ended up winning that, beat Ceballos Baena in there, but again, just a tribute to him that he is Griekspoor, that he went from the Challenger Tour to the main tour and stayed on it as well. But in Melbourne last year, couldn't play Rafa because of the injury.
Love 15.
Infection is so, which is why he pulled out of the tournament that Rafa won last year prior to the US Open in Melbourne, that got his confidence up and running. Picked up a bit of a neck injury last year. Tricky at the moment with the sun, as you can see there. He was actually having to throw it to the right to have to slice it, wasn't it? It's not the serve he wanted to hit.
The dilemma from that southern end is that you go through stages in a match, a 5-set match, at this time of the day, and at one stage you'll be throwing the ball to the right of the sun. Well, you start actually at the left, so obviously it comes up in the east, so you start throwing the ball to the left of the sun, and then as the match goes on, you have to find a way to get it around the other side of the sun and throw it on the right. It's difficult.
Yeah, and if you're Tsitsipas, you're going to be a touch disappointed with this returning game, not because you're ultimately going to lose it, but just trying to make the return, because players who struggle a little bit with the sun as well can be a little blinded for a split second after the serve, and therefore a little tougher to be that aggressive with the +1 shot. Now that's a little wasteful from Tsitsipas. There are opportunities when your opponent's struggling with the sun, and you can see Griekspoor just checking it's still up there. It's not going anywhere today. 2-1 to the Dutchman. Well, a lot of the young kids and the mascots who have done such a good job at the start of the match with coin toss, just getting a flavour of what Grand Slam tennis is like. It's not always 5 a.m. in the morning, we need to tell them, otherwise they might not want to come back.
No, but the next generation, that's what makes it, isn't it? You know, that's what we've missed for 2 years. Families, social occasion that the Australian Open is now, and the best players in the world gathering for 2 weeks in the same place.
Please, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, there were so many great things about last night. Obviously the players themselves and everybody feeling for Thanasi this morning, but obviously in absolute awe of Andy's performance out there. The Bull kids, of course. Eva Ederaki Moore as well, for being in the chair for 5 hours and 45 minutes. Don't want to forget her.
Exactly.
And that was a tense affair. She had to deal with an awful lot out there with the crowd as well, but particularly the crowd. What a performance from them to stay till that particular stage as well. Passion for this sport is infectious, and it's fed through to today.
Yeah, dangerous. He got caught there, going for the serve +1, as we call it these days, where the server backs away to get his forehand. He was committed, but the return was so short, it forced him to move forward, and he hooks it to the wrong place in the court here. So he backs away looking for the forehand. Then when it's short, he has to come in, and that's dangerous. Straight to the forehand, good night. He's developing into a very mature player, isn't he? Tsitsipas sees his opponent so deep and chooses the right time. The great players do that. Djokovic, at the moment, better than anybody with his choices.
$30-15.
Just a little tight with the Frenchman Hales in the opening round in the third set breaker. 8-6. Tsitsipas took it, but didn't drop a set in that one. Jakarta in the next round picked up just the 5 games against Tsitsipas. Probably just not quite at that level yet, but he's coming, and Australia will be well behind him, and over the next few years he's going to be winning a fair few matches here in Australia.
Two games over.
Both players looking nice and strong on serve early on, and that's the traditional Tsitsipas prowl. Forwards, backwards, anxious to get on with things, energy to burn. Kotov in the opening round and got through against the lucky loser with one tiebreaker set for him in the second as well there. Defense from Tsitsipas is going to be interesting to see as this match goes on, where he decides to play his tennis from. He is a borderless tennis guy. He takes the baseline, uses it as a guide rather than a definite rule to play there. He'll be inside and outside. That time just using his athleticism to extract the error from Griekspoor.
It's interesting, isn't it, in our world of tennis with so many cultures and in the locker room and following the sport and competing and loving the sport. Some cultures come with trademarks, don't they? I think the Dutch come with a very strong, competitive, tough background that makes them really great competitors. I don't expect anything less from this young man. Conditions can get tough, they can get warm out here. I'm willing to, well, I'm not a betting man. But if I was, I'd be willing to bet he's a tough kid. And sometimes for me in tennis, that's one of the greatest traits that I have such respect for. Andy Murray is tough. He's going to get a few mentions over the next few days. He deserves it. So does Thanasi, by the way. So impressive. Forgive me for referring back to that match last night a little bit today, Petch, but what an experience just being there.
Well, that evoked memories of last night. The break-back point for Murray, and this time it's Tsitsipas who scrambles one back high, and he is the beneficiary of a mistake. And Tsitsipas strikes first, 3-2. I was just about to praise him for serving and volleying and getting the reply that he's looking for from Tsitsipas there, but he just didn't do enough with the volley, and then he was just a little bit sluggish with the footwork under the smash, wasn't he?
Well, he didn't cross over, Petch. Yeah. I think it's important as an athlete. He brought his feet together several times. It slows your retreating ability to get the smash. You've got to cross over to get back there quickly. He didn't do it, and he was a bit late in position there.
Griesbauer, who had that Dutch clash in the previous round against Botic van der Zandschulp and came through in straight sets, 4-4 and 4. They've got a good relationship on the tour as well, the two Dutchmen out there. He was talking about it recently and just says that it's nice to have somebody there. Yeah, he's a rival, but he's also a friend. We text each other, talk about how to play other opponents on the tour. Botic, though, has never played Tsitsipas, so there was no real great intel there for Tallon prior to this match.
Led for service. Low 15.
Bread and butter. Let the butter slide off the knife there. There's no doubt it helps being 6'4" and athletic in this sport. That's why we had a paper plane and a cream puff. I've just worked it out, Mark.
What a point. Not Tsitsipas's forte is the drop shot, but credit to him for trying to explore it, trying to make it better, but it's not a shot that he hits particularly well yet.
And during this day session, when the sun is shining, the warmth is around, the heat, that ball seems to bounce higher compared to last night. And the heat goes out of the court surface and the balls.
Lovely camera shot of the heat there. Look at that. Oh, and that's what you love to see. A player that battles with something, a skill, and still going for it. Tsitsipas delivering an absolutely beautiful winner.
What would he say to you and I after our little critique about his drop? He'd say, in your face with that one. Perfect. Good stuff. This has potential, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
14-30.
good as the coverage here at the Australian. Look at that. Feel like you're on court with the players. Well, that was a test of the nerve as long,
leads 4 games to 2.
along with the serve as well. Tsitsipas, 20 minutes gone. 4-2 opening set. Just looking at the Dutchmen as well that have made it to the 4th round, which is what Griekspoor's attempting here. You've got Tom Ocker, he made the semis here, of course. Richard Krajicek once made the semis as well. Similar the 4th round, to quarterfinals along with Shen Shoken and Michael Sharpers. Sadly, of course, Menno Oosting, also a player that made the 4th round here. He sadly and tragically passed away in a car crash back in 1999.
I don't normally send shout-outs.
Love 15.
But if Jaco Elting is listening, it's just you and us, Jaco. Gee, they had some good players, didn't they? Singles and doubles.
For service.
Oh, he was knocked down on that list, but probably their best player after Richard Krajicek as well, given his ability on both the singles and the doubles court.
15.
That sun, it's really forcing him to put the ball in a place he doesn't really want to at the moment. Steph taking up a nice, decent deep position as well to try and counter this sort of 160k second serve that comes in from Griekspoor. And he's getting a nice shift up the court after the return and putting pressure on the Dutchman consistently. And I really feel as though these conditions suit Tsitsipas once we got to Melbourne as well. The slower conditions here, a ball that doesn't fly as fast as it did last year. It gives him the ability to return exceptionally well, which is why he's had some of his best results on the clay courts as well. It really aids his return. And it allows him to play with a little more spin at times. He doesn't just have to flatten things out. And it doesn't really dent the pace on his serve.
Yeah. No, I think it suits him. And his forehand's got so much spin, it jumps. Remember, Griekspoor was 6'2", but the height of the bounce.
There's the second break. He was a little fortunate to get it in the end. But things very much going the Greek way at the moment. 5-2.
Tsitsipas leads 5 games to 2.
Well, I said maybe that opportunity and experience against Djokovic at the US Open was perhaps going to help him out. He does look just perhaps a little bit out of sorts, maybe something to do, Griekspoor, with the sunshine. Obviously the opponent's got something to do with that, and maybe it is just still getting used to these immense stadium courts that we have in tennis that he doesn't get a chance to play on that often.
Time.
To me, it looks like Griekspoor is close to really playing well. He's just missed a few balls, hasn't he? And the extra pressure of playing such a heavyweight here in Tsitsipas has probably caused a bit of that. Mark, the crowds are back.
They are back.
Yeah, it's such an enlightening sight. Look, I'm sure for you too, but for an Australian to see this again after the lockdown here, it just warms your heart.
Things going from strength to strength for Tsitsipas. Double break, new balls, serving for the opening set.
He looks like he wouldn't take a backward step, does he, this young man? Trying to stand up and take the second serve early to put a bit of pressure on Tsitsipas. Now that is camera work. 40 to 50 cameras on this production team inside this stadium. No wonder it's good. And Mark, up to 200 cameras around the whole venue at different times. That's where this Tennis Australia broadcast has gone, and it's just changed the face of it.
Well, we keep saying that the lead actors are going to change in men's tennis, but as we saw last year, 3 out of the 4 majors picked up by familiar faces. Tsitsipas, however, has long been considered a new lead. Usurped by Alcaraz in New York, will be desperate to make an impact here in Melbourne, and he has taken a nice clean opening set against the talented talent. 6-2. This will be a nice watch for us, Fitzy, just to see how the Dutchman actually deals with that, because, to be honest, he wasn't really in that opening set. The first couple of games were okay, but Tsitsipas obviously just getting a feel for the day and an opponent he's never played before, and once he did, he kind of ran away with it. So we're going to find a little bit more about the flexibility of Greek sports game here to kind of stay more competitive.
I think so, but I'm confident. I'm confident he'll be competitive here. I mean, if Tsitsipas does blow him away, then we've got a real contender on our hands, I think. And look, we know that. He's in the upper echelons of the sport now, but I think this youngster, he doesn't have the experience by any means that his opponent does, but he looks good to me. I thought if a few things had gone his way, if he missed a couple of balls that he just missed by hitting the tape and over the lines, if he'd made them, he would have been more competitive already. But this is a tough ask. So many assets here that Tsitsipas possesses.
Probably got the best serve forehand combo in the game right now, I would say. I mean, Alcaraz will have a say about that, and obviously your favourites at home, you're going to be thinking, what are you talking about? But how early he takes it inside the baseline is really Federer-esque. And here we are, of course, looking back down the Yarra into the city, and as I said on Twitter this morning, this will be a pretty good day for most of us to find out whether this is truly the coffee capital of the world.
Well, you're talking to a biased man here.
There is a coffee in Melbourne that I didn't know about until my wife sent me the article. It's called Black Magic. You go into a coffee shop here, and it was developed here in Melbourne by a barista.
Second set.
And Marks and Spencer's in the UK have decided it's that special that they're going to import it to the UK.
Okay, so we can dwell on that if you want. 2 shots, but they take the edge and bitterness off both shots.
Correct.
Ends up being 1.5. Now there's a difficult smash put away very well.
15 long.
I'd like to see him just get his body weight back a bit quicker and then transfer his weight forward a little bit here. He seems like he's a little bit on the back foot. That causes some erratic behavior with the racket face sometimes. But nevertheless, a great result there. The coffee capital that's fair. There's plenty of places you can go into Melbourne and order a Magic. 2 shots of coffee, but they take part of each shot away to reduce the bitterness. Yeah, Magic smashing by the youngster.
13-15.
It's one of those pterygium days, isn't it? Tough on the eyes out here. It's glary for these players.
For service.
He's attached that to the line.
First game.
And he's attached a 1 to his name in this second set as he goes up 1-love. And Griekspoor, who won his first ever maiden title in Pune, became the first Dutch player to win a title there since not there I should say, but on the tour since Shen Schalken in 2001, who won in Stockholm up there in Scandinavia. And as you say, you wouldn't have been writing about that sort of mid-90s, end of the 90s with the players that they had, would you? You would be saying that the Dutch players would be winning tour titles for fun as they were back in that particular time. But it has been, over 22 years since they have managed to win an ATP title. So credit to him for putting that particular, look at that, incidentally. What an absolutely picture postcard look down at the arrow towards Melbourne.
It's tough living here.
I'm envious.
Incidentally,
there were 12 first-time champions last season.
What are you talking about, envious? I mean, you have an open-ended book here. Let's not get carried away.
But it's only 4 weeks a year. I mean, can't you extend the? Can't you put some more tournaments on down there? That's what I'm talking about beforehand.
13-15.
I mean, it is Tiptronic acceleration through there, through the gears. I mean, look at this. Yeah.
Roger would have been happy with that. And I chose my words carefully.
Interesting to see what he decides to do here, Griekspoor, in terms of his return position on the second serve in particular.
First service.
As if he's going to allow Tsitsipas to potentially get away with 140k second serves without putting too much pressure on him. Tsitsipas is going to enjoy that. I kind of feel he needs to step up a little bit and try and force Tsitsipas to go for a little bit more on his second serve and potentially get a double fault, or try and just rush Tsitsipas on the +1 and redirect into the backhand side of Tsitsipas.